Today at 2 o'clock we had bid opening for Well 31 project, and we were hoping to have 4 bids in, but two companies ended up pulling out right at the end. We received 2 bids, one from Weber Group, Water Resource Group, and then Lane Christensen. The Weber Resource Group, and I believe we made copies of these and had them at from the door. So the Weber Group is the apparent low bidder, and how we did this bid, we had 2 items. We had the base bid, which is the work required to, I guess it's kind of normally what we have to do for the wells to get them rehab. The known that we're going to have to do regardless, and then the second item is a more aggressive cleaning process that will help regain some of our capacity in that well, or could, if once we do the video work and some other work, we can find out if it merits doing that or not. So the base bid for the Weber Group, I think was $109,702. The Schedule B at an additional cost of $174,028. And each one's kind of broke up into different line items. That Schedule B has a chemical treatment process. With the very bottom B4, it discusses oil tubing assembly. Well 33, when we just redid that oil tubing, well 33 and well 31 were putting at the same time. And so it's a pretty good indicator. I mean, the water quality is a little different and things of that nature, so they do wear differently. But we put that in there as in case the oil tube, once we pull it out, is bad, or the bushings which are inside it, or not bushing, I'm sorry, bearings inside the oil tube are bad. Hopefully we put in the unit item 600 feet. That is the complete assembly that we will put back in. We're also reducing the length like we did at 33. We're putting a suction line on the bottom of some PVC pipe, which will reduce the weight of the assembly, which is keep bearings longer, and PVC is not really corroded by water, or it isn't. So we'll have less future costs of rehabilitation. But the only thing we will do on that is if it's pulled and it is bad, then we'll incur that cost. If not, there won't be a need to. Everything on the upper, the Schedule A, I think for the most part, could most likely be done. I guess processing the cleaning, if it came back, the video looked really good, we wouldn't require it. But that's for sure cost, 109 I would say, and then Schedule B is possible depending on how it looks and what shape the bearings and the oil tube are in. But yeah, staff's recommendation is to go with a apparent low bidder from the Weber Group.
It's going to put $64,000 in the hole.
Yeah, I'll let Wes.
Let me address two things. One is the bid. You'll notice that the bid has unit pricing. One of the things Aaron was talking about was replacing the oil tubing. He almost got to the point of pointing out that if we have 100 feet of oil tubing that needs to be replaced, we'll replace 100 of it, and that's going to cost us 83 times 100, as opposed to 83 times 600 or whatever. So we're only going to pay for what we do, which means that in any of these situations it could be less than what the total bid. So that's the first thing that we would point out. The other thing is, as you noted on the expenditure approval form, under production wells, we had budgeted $237,000 for the year for well rehabilitation. That with this bid coming in and what we've already done in that category would put us $64,000 over budget for the year. We do have a well maintenance category
$44,000, and I think we used about 8,000.
Yeah, so we've got 35,000, we've got 35,000 available in the well maintenance category that could be, when we do our augmentation, reassigned to this, which means we're now looking at about $30,000.
But obviously, we're early in the year, so we're still gonna have more.
Right, we still have well 2 that we need to look at some point. And one reason these bids are higher than what we've had in the past is, a lot of time, well, in the past, we would bid for what we knew.
Not worst case, but.
Right, and we've had change orders come.
Yeah.
This process is putting everything up front, and then which is a competitive bid, and so where the change orders, it's not
We
competitive.
don't like change orders.
And so we're trying to get away from having change orders.
This is the worst case scenario, like we were talking about with what Travis said, and it could come in less than this when the work is finalized and they detailed what they've actually done.
So it's,
Yeah, we don't have to do Schedule B stuff, once we,
Are we gonna have somebody there when this work is done, is the engineer gonna, or is that part of the contract with the engineers that they'll monitor the work?
we've done,
You know how worst case goes, you know, if you're paid or something, hey, let's, so, I
In
mean,
other words, they only use 220 feet.
I will.
yeah, Aaron's gonna be our monitor on the construction, so.
for construction control.
Yeah.
The other important point is that this is well 31.
Most important well.
Yeah.
Our most
Yeah.
important well.
Just saying.
Our best well.
We don't have a choice here.
Yeah.
We're just-
Is there any public comments on this item? I don't see none. Is there any more board comments?
what do we do when
Have we
other
worked
work
with
needs to
Weber
be
before?
done, Wes?
Yeah, Weber did do the work at well 31 in 2011 when it failed in that February 2011, and they were really good to work with.
So this falls under that bacon and, what are they called?
Davis Bacon,
Yeah.
wages?
No matter what we do.
Yeah.
Rich asked the question, you know, what do we do if we're over budget, when we're over budget? Where does the money come from? It's gonna come from the same place that it come from in the last discussion we had, which is our dwindling reserve.
Does this have any Vanguard pipe in it? Is my question.
No.
You can't say that word.
The pipe cannot be named.
Rich, use that word. All right, I'm looking for a motion. Do I see a motion or hear a motion?
I make a motion that we follow staff's recommendation and approve the bid to Weber in the amount of $283,730.
Not to exceed.
Not to exceed $283,730.40.
No change order. Second. Okay, I have a motion and a second. Call for the vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 5 in favor, motion carries.